What's the outlook for energy? What kind will we be able to get as consumers, and who will manage it? Emmanuel Lagarrigue is the Senior Vice President for Central and Eastern Europe for Schneider Electric, and we caught up with him at the IESE conference, Doing Good, Doing Well in Barcelona. Emmanuel, thank you very much for being with us on INSEAD Knowledge.
Thank you.
How does Schneider Electric see the world of energy today?
Today we see that the world has a very difficult equation to solve. Basically we see energy needs soaring, especially electricity needs soaring, because of needs of connectivity. We all want to be connected everywhere, at home, at the office, and to have our mails on our mobile phones and handsets. And behind that, there is a lot of infrastructure, IT infrastructure for that, and a lot of data centers everywhere. Guess what? These data centers are consuming a whole lot of energy, and you need to cool down these data centers also. At the end, if you look at the CO2 emissions generated by the IT industry today, they are equivalent to the CO2 emissions of the airline industry. Second point, you have today 1.6 billion people who don't have I would say a real good access, reliable to electricity and to energy. These people are living in countries which are growing fast. Talking about China, Brazil, Indonesia, India. We see that needs for energy are soaring on the one hand. On the other hand, we see that we have to dramatically reduce our CO2 emissions. And the problem is that basically today 75% of the electricity is generated out of oil, gas or coal. So that's not exactly CO2 friendly. And yes, renewables will help, and yes, nuclear will help when it comes, if it comes, but that won't be enough.
And what is your strategy to get there?
What we do at Schneider Electric is basically developing technologies and products and solutions that help our customers using better the energy. So this kind of technologies for lighting control, HVAC control, power monitoring, power distribution. Smart grid will be really something critical there, because today our grids all over the world are not that efficient. Energy will become a critical resource. This world of energy without any outage, that's finished.
Who are your clients?
Well, first, the energy management business is a business in the making. And you see three kinds of behaviors. You have people who are fearing punishment, who are fearing negative incentives. We just finished a big project with Rolex in Switzerland. Basically, their claim were, okay, help us shave the peak of energy, the peaks of energy consumption we have along the day, because if not, the utility will punish us, will charge a lot of money for the extra energy we are consuming, and the grid is not going to resist to these peaks. The second behavior we find it basically with banks. Today is I want to appear on the market as a greener bank because that's a strong driver for my customers. That's critical for the IT industry today to manage better their energy. That's part of their cost and part of the continuity of their operations also, and the service they give to their customers. The third category would be, I would say, tax incentivized part. Typically what you find in the renewables business. Today the photovoltaic, making a photovoltaic solar farm, it's not per se a sustainable business. I mean, the ROI you get is very, very long, except in two places, California and Italy, because in these places the grid is a little bit messy and generating electricity there is so expensive that it almost makes a photovoltaic profitable. But everywhere else in the world, it's not profitable. So it's today this business, which is growing a lot, is just sustained by governments.
So how do we get from oil, which has basically passed its peak, to some of the sustainable energies like wind or solar? It seems as though there's just gas or coal or nuclear, none of which are particularly environmentally friendly.
The lack of profitability of photovoltaic, that's for today. In less than 5 years from now, that won't be the case anymore, because it's a market in the making. Technologies are evolving very, very quickly. So that will be profitable for you to have on the roof of your house a photovoltaic panels and generate 80%, 70%, 100%, or more than 100% of your electricity needs for your house or your business.
So it's independent, kind of.
Yes, that's what we call the zero emission buildings. That will happen. And what will you do with the extra energy? Well, you will sell it to your neighbor who may need it. Or if you have a very efficient building, you can sell it to the manufacturing site, which is next door. So that's how we see where things could go someday.
Without a grid, or are you selling it back to
so
the grid?
Then that's another new challenge for the grid, because just imagine today it's kind of, you have the power plants and this grid, which is not that efficient, but that will come.
So how do you translate all of that to the 1.6 billion people you say are without electricity in the world?
Today, Africa in the photovoltaic business is definitely one of the fastest growing part in the world, because definitely the Middle East also is to some extent. The cost of the infrastructure of a solar farm will go down, and it's going down very, very fast. Could be talking about 2015, not later than that. And then in Africa you have other things. You have some experiments of some companies who are just saying they have the sun and we have the needs today of energy, so let's generate energy out of the sun in the north of Africa, and then we bring it back to Western Europe. Now we are talking about windmills in the deep sea, not close to the coast anymore, because in some places like Denmark, for instance, it's saturated that you cannot go anywhere. So that will be the same challenge. Take the energy back, take the electricity back onto the way it's consumed.
Let me end by asking you about Copenhagen. Are you among the many who were disenchanted, or do you see something positive about the results?
We are all disappointed as citizens about the outcome of Copenhagen, partly because the expectations were high, very high. It was kind of 13 years after Kyoto, and we said, oh, now the US are here, and then the world would change, and that was not the case. At least for me, the good part of Copenhagen, they understood that it's important. Partly because we are going out of a crisis where some are saying, oh, that was a lack of regulation on that particular industry. And so people are saying, oh, maybe for the next boom of this energy management adventure, do we have to regulate or not? At least the debate is on the table. At least they understood that it's important. And when I say they, I'm referring to governments and to businesses. So, yes, not the outcome that was expected, but not that negative.
Emmanuel, thank you very much for being with us on INSEAD Knowledge.
Thank you very much.